Okay. If I navigate to my payroll components, so on the configuration side, this is predominantly used during the implementation of the company, where you set up your company parameters. So your payroll components, your leave setups and accumulation rules, anything related to positioning, your general ledgers, all that you will set up on the configuration side of the system. So, but if I navigate to my payroll configuration, go to payroll components. When you register a new company, it will give you a generic list of components that are most commonly used in Nigeria. But from there, there's no restriction. You can add as many different payroll components as you'd like. And you can then also, on some components, you might need to go and define specific variables that form part of a given component calculation. So if you needed to set that up, you can click there to get access to the solutions library of components, and then search from there. So you might want to go and add a overtime component. We'll give you all the different options with the standard calculation of that given item. And if I click on it, I can then go and define this specific one. So this would be the generic name, but you can then also type in a different name, which might make more sense in your company frame of reference that can display on the payslip. So you can type in that name there. And as I said, is you can then go and define the variable income sources for this specific component. So if I say there's 3 variables, create lines, it will give me that option to go and tell the system what those items should be. So in the first instance, I want you to go and look at a percentage of the income source, go look at the recurring package, and then you can either add, divide by, subtract, or multiply by, let's say another percentage of income source. But now I can even go and select a different area. So there might be a specific component that I want the system to go and look at, which might be basic pay. Go look at the actual result, previous year to date, whatever the instance might be. And then lastly, let's just add an amount of 1,000, for instance. And these variables will then form part of that payroll component calculation. If that's not enough, you can also tap into JavaScript, where you might tell the system, if line 1 plus line 2 equals this, then take that divided by this and do that, or else do this. So there's a lot of configurability allowed for in the payroll components, which will help you, enable you to do accurate payroll processing on the application. Okay, so that's on the legislative side, on the reports. If I go to my main grid again, we did look at the administrative dashboard over there. But I also wanted to show you how you can search for employees on the admin view. So if I go and then your different admin type users, so it might be a payroll person, HR person, junior administrators, etc. But not all of them should have the same access in the system. So you would, in essence, go to your configuration security and go and define a security role. So there's no limit to the number of security roles that you can set up, and it's quite easy to define. So I'm going to show you one that has already been set up. So it will give you the different screen options in the solution, and I can then just go and tick what a person can either view and edit, which is green, not view at all, which is red, and then only view, which is yellow. So you will do this then for everything in the system, and that will then dictate what a person can and cannot see and can and cannot do in the solution. Okay, so we've covered all the basic information in the ESS side of it. Just on the payroll processing, the pay rate detail screen is where you would tell the system how this person gets paid. Does he get paid per month? What is his package amount? Or does he get paid per hour or per day? And what is those rates? And you can then also apply your increases on this screen. Just note, all these changes can also be done in bulk. So you don't have to do anything on employee level. You can do all these changes in bulk on multiple employees simultaneously. I'm just showing you how the different screens would look. The edit payslip screen would be if you want to process any variables, once-off items, which could be bonuses, commissions, overtimes, etc. You can go into the edit payslip screen or do it on bulk processing. I'll get there now. And then go and change whatever information you might need to. You'll also notice that everything on the system happens in real time. So it's real-time processing. There's no month-end process that you need to wait for. As you process it, will update the information. So I'm going to edit this specific item. It might have been captured incorrectly. So I open up the item, I advise the hours, and I can even type in a comment. The reason why the comments are nice is it will reflect on the person's payslip, and it will then actually tell them, you can give them a further explanation, etc., which on that specific item. And we've seen that this does reduce a lot of the payroll queries that do come through. So once I've made my changes, I click on save, and it will immediately update the system. So it will say updated successfully, and there's the 15 hours, the new amount, and it will also reflect on the system itself. At the bottom of the screen, you can type in notes, which is specific to this employee. You might wish them a happy birthday, or might need to tell them additional information there. So you can type it in there, click on update, and this information will pull through to the person's payslip. Okay. Recurring payroll components, those are your static components, which can either be part of package or not. So if you go into the system, you can assign or align these components in bulk to employees, or you can ad hocly go in and maybe add something to a specific employee. So I might need to go and add another fringe benefit. So the moment I click on the plus sign over there, it will give me access to my company library. So all the components that I've configured for the system. And then I can select from there the information or the component that I want to add, and then complete what information it prompts me for. So dependent on the component that you select, it will then also ask you for specific information. So if I needed to take, let's say, for instance, this company car fringe benefit, the moment I select that, there's a lot of additional information required for tax calculation purposes that it then might ask me for. So I can go and complete all the information there, click on save, and that will then be associated to your recurring package. Okay.